Well, hello again. We're not doing this motherboard today. I was intending to do this. This is a Enforce 2 motherboard, socket 462, I believe. I recapped this about a decade ago using the incorrect caps. The values are correct, but they are way too large, and my soldering job, not exactly the best. But, as fun as this motherboard would surely be, I found something in the garbage that I like better. So, this absolutely filthy motherboard. Jeez. I know nothing about it. I basically grabbed it and said, "Ooh, I want to do this." So, let's see. I don't know what chipset this is. It is a MEW-AM. Made by someone, I'm sure. I don't know who. Intel 810 looks like. I don't know if that's a good chipset or not, but this thing is covered in... That's hair. That's pretty gross. Let's see how much of this dust is the sticky kind and how much I can just blow away. Huh. I was expecting to have to use the brush. That cleaned up pretty well. Now, let's see what's under there. Obviously, socket 370, we're looking at probably a Pentium 3 with this fanless heatsink. I don't know what this would have been out of, but surely it can't be that powerful. I want to be very careful with this design. I don't want to jam the screwdriver into the motherboard. Okay, what do we have? It is a proper Pentium 3. 800 megahertz. Hey, that's not too bad. Huh. I'm pretty sure this would have had a fan, or should have had a fan heatsink, not this. Maybe this was out of an OEM, and it had a fan back here with a shroud. Whoever threw this out did not throw out the case, so... Oh, this is that awful type of thermal paste. It's... I don't even know how to describe this, but there's like a piece of metal on here that had paste on either side of the metal. So if I pull this up, it's almost like tin foil. See? I hate this stuff. That wasn't too bad. I don't think we're going to reuse this. I'd like to get a fan on there. I don't want to trust just the fanless part. Do I have a heat sink close by? I do. I have this thermal take. It's a little dirty, but it's not too bad. Does not appear to warrant a cleaning, though I suppose I could blow it out real quick. Well, there we go. Okay. So we have our CPU, we have our heatsink. Let us go ahead and, well, do I have a paper towel around here somewhere that I can... Here, this was used for painting, looks like. You do want to be careful with these Pentium 3s. This is an exposed die, and if you're not cautious, you absolutely can and will crack it. I have yet to kill one, so I don't want to start today. Granted, I don't even know if this board works. I haven't tested it yet. But let's not risk it. So let's go ahead and get this hooked on this side. I know you can't see this super well. I can't even see it that well. Okay. There's a clip right there and a clip right there we want to get these on. Now, socket 462 from AMD. Boy, I really cannot get that on there. And socket 370 douche. I need to just need to see what the heck is going on here. I cannot. Okay, that's it. As I was saying, socket 462 and socket 370, they share some similarities in the cooler design, but I like 462 better as it has 3 nubs on each side as opposed to 1 or 2. So CPU fan goes over here. Now we need to find some RAM. That's going to be, looks like this particular board uses SD RAM. Now I should have a whole can of that right around here somewhere. But I need to find it, so I'll be right back. Can located. Spiderweb. Okay. That's going to be ECC. Some of these are ECC capable, but I'm going to start out with just regular RAM because, well, it's much more likely to support that. Just kind of grab a couple of sticks of random stuff. This looks nice and old. 512 meg, that is not that old. Okay. Most of this is going to be ECC. I've pulled this all out of servers for the most part. So, yeah, this stuff here is even registered, so looks like that's going to be most of my standard desktop RAM. Well, our options are a mystery stick from Avant Technologies. Oh, this came out of a switch. This came out of a Nortel switch. Nortel part number 318409-A. Huh. I remember pulling those now. Okay, those came from a Nortel 8000 series transport switch. This is the most likely to just work. This is 128 megs of 133 megahertz, or mega transfers. I don't remember exactly how they measure it, but this is the most likely to work. So we're going to go ahead and pop that in. Now we need a power supply. I don't remember if this is the one that's loud or not, but this one should work. More importantly, does this come apart? Yes, it does. Okay. So, ATX connector plugged in. Oh, wow. Hey, there's something I want to show. I just noticed that. Look at that fan connector. That's practically been pulled off the board. Wow. I don't know if I can get that back on. PS fan, power supply fan, I think. That's... I've never seen one do that before. Huh. Interesting. Okay, let's see if this thing works. So, power supply. Plugged in. Suppose I should grab a monitor, shouldn't I? This server RAM is going to go back in the bucket. Bucket of goodness. Move these. Grab our monitor. Now, I need VGA. There we go. And power for the power supply. Here we go. Now let's get you adjusted. Power supply on. Oh, it turned right on. Okay. Some boards do that, some boards don't. Now the question is, do I have a video? String the power supply. I don't know about this one, folks. It might have been thrown out for a reason. But there is something we can try. Where did I? There they are. Let's pull the BIOS battery. And where's the power switch? Oh! The pin for the reset switch has been bent all the way that way. That's also some damage. Okay, power is here. Just to make sure there's no power on the board. Now let's try this again. This should not turn on. Oh dear. Huh. We are not going to give up so easily. Let's try this in this slot. This really shouldn't be just turning on. I wonder if I have a PCI graphics card within easy grab distance. I don't, and I don't want to dig, so let's go ahead and power that off. And let's try a different stick of RAM. We can try one of these Nortel ones. There shouldn't be anything unique about them. They should just be standard SD RAM. But, you never know. Now let's see. Did they silkscreen which one was which for these two DIMM slots? It does not look like they did. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and try that one again. I don't see any obviously bad capacitors, although that doesn't mean anything. Oh, it has a USB port on it. That's kind of cool. I think that's a no. Just for giggles. Let's try... this might be ECC. Yeah, this is registered. This is also server memory. Drat. We might not have a video with this board. Yeah. Oh, that sucks. I mean, it did come from the trash. You can't win them all. I really wish that there was an obvious place of damage. But I just don't see any. None of the capacitors are bulging. The board looks to be in good shape. It's possible that it just doesn't like the RAM that I have. Well, I have every single other stick of SD RAM that I own here. Here's some more desktop stuff. Again, most of this is going to be server. Here's desktop at the point where I'm counting the chips. If you're ever confused over whether something is server or desktop, a rule of thumb, this is not gospel, but this does help. Count the chips. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's an even number. In this case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, an even number. Now this one is ECC, and on this one we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One extra chip for parity. So that can help you identify server, ECC, versus desktop, non-ECC. So let's keep trying. Is there anything about the slots that look bad? No, those look fine. So I don't know what this one is, but it says 256 megs. We're just gonna pop that in. Did I put it in? That's DDR. Okay. Don't know how that got in there. Don't know what size this one is, but I'm gonna try it. Get our VGA hooked back up. Power supply hooked back up. Will we get life? No. Some, it's rare, but some boards will not post without a BIOS battery, so here's a new one. I don't think this is going to fix it, but it's worth a shot. Oh my god! This is out of an HP, and it worked! Okay. Was that really all that was wrong? Okay. Huh. Let's get a keyboard. Okay. Keyboard in hand. Let's go ahead and fire it up. See. Oh. Now that we've got a BIOS battery, it's probably quite happy not automatically turning on. So let's go ahead and... Huh? Did it just randomly stop working? There we go. Okay. So F2. Which one gets me into the BIOS? Do either of these two get me to the BIOS? Nope. Okay. What would this have been out of? F10 wasn't it either. BIOS, please. Is it escape? You have got to be kidding me. Is it F9? Or F11 maybe? What button gets me into the BIOS? Come on, F12? You're kidding me. Alright, I'm going to try and figure out which button it is to get into the BIOS off camera so I don't spend 5 hours just doing this. Okay, it's F11. That's one of the keys that I pressed, but I think I was alternating between two keys, so maybe that messed it up. Either way, we have 64 megabytes of memory installed. That is what I really wanted to know. So let's go ahead and turn that off. 64 is just a bit low for my tastes. Let's pop that out and just set it aside. This one's 128. History ones from Nortel are probably 256. Well, this one actually is double-sided. Let's just see if it'll even use that memory. I'm gonna have to do this. Oh, that's right. Doesn't like that screwdriver. Nope. Does not like that memory. Okay. Nortel is off the table. Let's see, what have we got here? This one's 128. This one doesn't say. Well, let's find out. Get in there. I do not have a lot of SD RAM left. Should probably acquire some more soon. Let me rephrase that. I don't have much high capacity SD RAM. Okay, this 32 megs. That is too small. Let's try this one. This is... don't know, but it's PC 100. So there shouldn't be a speed issue. Survey says BIOS. Survey says this doesn't like to post. Let's try. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Okay, 128 meg. Don't like how long that took to post, so we're probably going to sit this one aside. Might have just been memory test. Let's try the other mystery one. Now that I see that this is an HP, I really do not think that it'll work with ECC. HP liked to use the cheapest of the cheap motherboards. So, 64 meg. Okay, we don't have a lot of high capacity sticks left. So I guess, even though I am absolutely convinced that it will not work with ECC, let's just try some. So this is a 256 meg stick. Genuinely do not think this is going to work. But I guess it's possible. Watch me immediately be wrong. Okay. Huh. It just showed right up. Okay. Let's try another. Do I have a matching stick is the question. So at the moment, I just want to stick with the same speed. In fact, I found a matching stick. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and see if we can get half a gig to show up. Oh, that would be wonderful. Where's my power button? Here we go. There we go. Dust floating around still from blowing this thing off. I am glad that the CMOS battery seems to be... okay, 512 megabytes. The CMOS battery seems to be the only thing that was wrong with this PC. So, let's find a case, some storage, and it looks like we'll need a PCI graphics card, which is rather disappointing. But I'm going to clean up, and I'll be right back. Okay, I don't have... this didn't have an I/O shield for it, but I found this. And it looks like, even though this I/O shield is for a system that had a built-in Ethernet port, it looks like this, at least, mostly matches. So we might even have an I/O shield we can use. That is excellent. As for the case, I have this Apivia QPAC 2 case. Okay, let's adjust that camera. We're going to take this power supply off. It's an Aspire 430 watt power supply. We do not need 430 watts for this PC. This thing will be happy with like 200, maybe even 150. Probably less than that. So, yeah, if this power supply works, we could use this elsewhere. Besides, it has a P4 connector. We don't need one. If I were to be real stingy, I could go ahead and fish out one of my really old power supplies, which is an option. But instead, oh, where did I put it? Did I even bring it in here? Turns out I just forgot to bring it in here. This is a X Power 585. This is a 300 watt power supply. I actually kind of got scammed on this power supply when I first bought it because it was advertised as a 585 watt power supply. Now, it turned out that the seller saw the... I have immediately lost my screwdriver. How... There it is. The seller saw the model number of 585 and assumed it was a 585 watt power supply. When it arrived, and it wasn't, because I bought 3 of these at the same time. When it arrived, I pointed this out to the seller. They apologized and actually refunded me for all 3, which I didn't ask for. I didn't want these power supplies. I wanted to send them back, but they let me keep them. One of them has since died in a very fantastic way, so they're not entirely trustworthy, but for low power systems like this will probably be just fine. Now I need to get this optical drive out of here because it is SATA, and this motherboard does not have any SATA ports. Now I could put a SATA card in there, and I mean that's something we could do, but I'm not going to because I don't want to. I have plenty of IDE. We'll just make this work as it is. That's 3, one more. Oh, that one was real tight for some reason. I like these Q-Pack cases. They're made of aluminum. And, oh no! The motherboard tray's missing. Oh no! I was about to say, these have a removable motherboard tray that just slides in the back. But it's gone. Was not prepared for that. I need to go on a turd hunt now to try and find that. So, either I will be back with that motherboard tray, or I will be back with another case. Shoot! Well, I found it, so we're going to get this out of the way. That is the cool part about this case. It also has a handle on the front, but it doesn't feel very strong. So we're going to ignore the handle, just pretend it doesn't exist. Let's get this I/O shield in here. Also, I'm pretty sure this is all aluminum. At the very least, none of it's rusty. So, that's nifty. Get this in here. Oh, that's another thing. Most of the time, you can lift a computer by its CPU cooler. With the Pentium 3, because there's no supports and it's kind of balanced all in the middle, if it twists from side to side, it can shatter that die. So be careful if you're going to do that. And it looks like this I/O shield might be slightly off. I think we're okay. But I did just see that we have 2 screws still installed. This should tell us whether or not this uses fine. It does use fine thread. Okay, that's interesting. A lot of computer cases from this era use coarse thread. Huh. Anyway, let's get this installed if we can. What is... Oh, I see. Okay, so we're going to get the ones in front first, just because I think they're going to give us the most trouble. Start with this one. I'm not going to cinch it down, just going to get it like 90% of the way, just where it's barely touching the motherboard. Then I can pivot the whole thing around that screw until another one lines up. I can get this one also like 90% there. Now I can get one of these back ones, which don't all line up perfectly. There we go. Now this one, I am going to tighten up. Check to make sure all the other ones look like they're lined up. That looks good to me. Now I can tighten these three. Or other two, rather. And add the rest in. Looks like I might need some more screws if I'm going to get them all in there, but realistically it shouldn't matter. Going to be 2 screws short. For completionist's sake, I suppose, might as well. I have the screws, I just don't like hunting for them. Let's grab... Oh, that's where my other screwdriver was. I was looking for that earlier. Okay. 1, 2. Yeah. That was not too bad. That was pretty fast. 1 and 2. Now I still need to find a PCI graphics card for this. That is going to limit us quite a bit. This is a Pentium 3800. What would be a good fit for this? A GeForce 2 would be pretty good, and I do have a PCI GeForce 2. I do not remember where it is, though. So before we even think about putting this in the case, I'm going to get a LAN adapter, because this will be probably my LAN party machine. And I'll try to find that GeForce 2. Or at least something. Hell, I'd be happy with a Matrox G450. I'll be back. I think this is my GeForce 2. But I also seem to remember it had a bad fan, I think. Sounds like it, at least. So we're going to pull this off and see if there's anything we can do about that. Don't think there is, because I don't have any 3-in-1 oil. But, ooh, a little dirty too. Oh yeah, that's real wobbly. That feels like crap. Okay, let me see if I have anything I can use on this. I'll be back shortly. Okay, so I have a bad idea. I've got this lubricant from the dollar store that I use for a lot of other things. And there's a couple ways to lubricate these fans. I think what most people do is they peel the sticker back and get it from the back here. So we're gonna just... I wonder if I can spray it on something and then use that to apply it. I don't really have... Don't need much. There, that alone might be enough. Certainly might be. I'm going to do this a little bit. Hopefully work it in. I'll be right back. I've attempted to put the sticker back on. That lubricant kind of got everywhere. We're going to go ahead and try and see if this fixes the card. Of course, these screws don't actually go into anything in particular. They just kind of squeeze between the fins of the heatsink. You know, real quality products. I don't even know what company made this. It is the Video 111 PCI 64 LTV, made in USA, and That's the only identifying information on it. And it just says M CPU cooler, so great. Let me get the other screws in. I actually just tried to pull the cooler off, but it is stuck real fast, so I don't think I'm going to replace that paste today. So we're going to go ahead and get this locked in. I need a coarse thread screw. Darn it, come on. Here we go. That'll do. And we've got a 3-column, I think this is 10100 Ethernet. We're going to give the graphics card a little bit of space to breathe, although OEMs usually didn't. So it probably doesn't matter. I mean, the GeForce 2 is not exactly a power-hungry card, so probably just fine. One thing we do want to do is test it. So let's get our power supply back up here. Well, now I've lost that one. Fine. We'll use this mystery Aspire power supply. Also, I think we may end up going to this one. The reason is this is a short ATX power supply, and this one that we've chosen is a long ATX power supply. So, yeah. I guess this is a good chance to see if the Aspire power supply even works. So, yeah, I think taking this out of that case was a mistake. Okay, got that. VGA, that's all we care about. We do not care if the keyboard's connected. We just want to see if we get video out. Now I need power. Here we go. Now, of course, we are testing 2 variables at once, which is not ideal. These 2 variables, of course, are does this power supply work? And does this graphics card work? Well, the fan certainly doesn't work at all. That's not terribly surprising, but it does work. The fan not working actually is a little bit of a surprise. I wonder if there's something we can do about that. We're not going to leave the system running too long. Barely even got warm. Okay. As a responsible system owner, I should pull that card and see what I can do about the fan. I thought that it was going bad. I don't remember it actually being bad. I wonder what I have that I can convince to work. Let's find out. So I've got this cooler for 486. I just pulled the little plate off the bottom, and this appears to be almost the right size for this. So if I change this a little bit, perhaps we can get this on here. Maybe. Hey, wait a minute. Get on there. Now, obviously, it's not perfect, but that might just do the job. So I just don't want it to go in without active cooling. I don't have any other really good PCI graphics cards, so I kind of want this one to live. That is one thing I definitely need, is PCI graphics cards. Okay, let's try it out and see if it works. And perhaps more accurately, let's see how noisy it is. That I don't know about. Let's see. Survey says that's not too bad. It is spinning. I think we're good. Yeah, that'll do. Let's get this thing stuck in its case. And let's see if we can do without putting this back. You know what? Let's just put this power supply back in. It's the right thing to do. Set this off to the side. Get our case pulled up here. And look at the depth difference between these two. Yeah. I didn't want to waste the extra wattage, but it fits better. Now, normally this would have had an Apevia power supply, but those aren't exactly known for their longevity. I don't know anything about the Aspire power supplies. Don't think I've ever encountered one before. You know what? Hold on. The Aspire logo has the same bouncing ball as the Apevia logo. Is Aspire made by Apevia? This might be the power supply that's specific to this case. That's not great. Their Apevia power supplies were not known for their longevity. I wonder if they just rebranded to avoid the bad press of their power supplies dying. Ooh. I don't know about this one, folks. So, let's get this in. Now, it only had 2 screws in it when I got my hands on it. I can put another screw in it easily. But for right now, I just want to get the motherboard into the case. Move these. The case, I think, has like a thermal display on it. So this is all still connected from the last owner. Okay, so this is why I like these cases. I'm just going to go ahead and take this, slide it right on in, like so. Now, I want to make sure I'm not pinching any cables, of course. It looks like that we're good. So then I just give it a little the PCI bracket things sometimes get caught on the bottom. I had forgotten about that. It's been, there we go, a little while since I've worked in one of these cases. Okay. Oh, this even has SATA. Useless for us, but nice. So let's get the power plugged in. Okay, that is one thing plugged in. Now we don't need the P4 connectors. We're just going to tuck that down here. We don't need the SATA connector. We're going to tuck that down there. Okay, fans. Let's get them routed to where they're all convenient. I probably shouldn't have even unplugged that one. Oh, it occurs to me that these fans might be loud. Oh, this is for the temperature LCD. Okay, never mind. So, one of the pins came out of the Molex connector here. Get that back in there. Molex is not very great for being lined up, but I think we're good. So this is from another fan. Why is that other fan set up as an exhaust? Okay, we need to fix that immediately, because this case has two exhausts right now. And yes, in some cases that is not an issue. In this case, it is. Why can I not get the front panel off? You bastards. The other Apevia Q-Pack 2s that I have did not have these screws. And I can't really show you because I can barely see myself. I am very sorry. There's one. That screw was here. And the other screw is right here under where the, it's right there. I know you can't see very well. I'm sorry. But I own 3 of these cases. 3. None of the other 2 had these screws. And between us, there's no real reason for them. So, oh, come on. I'm not going to put them back in. Oh, I see I've scattered the screws for the original GeForce 2 cooler. Not that it matters, but there's the other one. Good. They're pointy and I don't want to step on them. So, motherboard tray slid back out. Okay, back in. So now we should be able to remove this front panel. There we go. And I did this, why? Fan. This fan needs to be reversed. The reason that you cannot have 2 exhausts in this particular case is because it has solid panels on all of the sides. So there's no other place for air to come in. It's a perfectly fine design, I guess. As long as you have an intake somewhere and not 2 exhausts. Boy, I bet whoever owned this PC prior had a really toasty system. They may not have ever known. Oh, I think this had an original Phenom system in it, an AM2 Plus Phenom. Get this turned around to where is an intake. This is a Magic fan. Ooh, fancy. Okay, that should be aligned. That's a flathead. There we go. I'll be right back. Okay, fan reversed. Get this front panel back on. Okay, so luckily the front panel connections in this case are nice and easy to make, as long as they're not all twisted and hard to use. Okay, so this is our front fan. We're going to plug this into that Is there another connector I can use other than that weird power supply one that was all bent up? Does not look like it. Alright, we're plugging it into the PS fan connector. It's not that hard to work on. It's just slightly annoying. Okay, USB. Okay, done. Let's do, we don't have Firewire. This is front panel audio. We probably do have that. And it is, we don't have that. Okay, well, those are done. We have, what the heck? Power LED had a pin sticking out of it. Interesting. I think I'm only going to hook up the power switch and reset switch in this particular case. Oh yeah, that's right, the reset had a bent pin. Let's bend that back. Should be good now. Okay. And that's all the front panel I care about. So, this was our G-force fan. So let's make that the first in our little line here, our daisy chain. So we only need one Molex on this side of the case. I guess this one's as good as any. So that's hard to get in. Of course it is. There we go. Done. Oh, you know what? Let's do it this way. If I can get it back in. Oh, Molex doesn't usually give me this much trouble, but holy cow. What is going on here? There we go. Okay, that's in. We can tuck that in the front along with all the other cables we're not going to use. I need this. Got two brand new IDE cables. We will use this one for our hard drive. We're going to tuck it down under here, and it will go into the blue connector on the motherboard. Actually, you know what? No, we'll plug this one into the black. We'll use this for our CD-ROM drive. It doesn't really matter which one goes where in theory. No, this will be hard drive. It's the better of the cables. And this one, this will go to our CD drive. Why are we using this one for a hard drive and this one for a CD-ROM? And the reason is, although they have the same number of pins and the same number of connections, and in theory would both work just fine for either job, the hard drive connection actually has fake wires in between as spacers to help prevent crosstalk, which was a problem in high-speed IDE applications. CD-ROM drive, not going to be pushing that high of data rates, so you don't really have to worry about crosstalk as much. Therefore, you could make a cheaper cable that didn't have the spacing wires. So let's get our, that's the wrong one. Where did I put it? Here it is. Let's get our IDE DVD-ROM drive in. We need some screws. At least two of them. I don't care about it being perfect. I just need two. I've got a lot of weird screws in here that don't go to anything. I should probably start getting rid of those. 1, 2. Good enough. They don't match, but that's fine. So 1 on this side, and 1 on this side, if it'll stay on the darn screwdriver. Oh, come on. There we go. Just like that. Okay. Good enough. Hard drive. CD-ROM. Okay. I don't think I've grabbed a hard drive for this machine yet. That's going to be tough because I need the special hard drive sled that they have. And the sled for this one's missing, just like the motherboard tray was. I'll be back. Funny enough, I found a hard drive in the sled. It's an 80 gigabyte Western Digital IDE drive. Nothing fancy, but it'll work for our purposes, so we're going to use it. Now, this is a pretty nice install. Once you have the hard drive, or drives, plural, installed on the sled, you just slide it in once it's lined up. And I need a screw, of course. So now we just put one screw here. Technically, you're supposed to have two. A second one would go there. But, you know, it's fine. So we are going to tuck some of this away. Just connect that there. We need power. And that's it. I don't really care about these thermal probes, but we'll jam one in our CPU cooler. And I guess we could try to route the other one over towards our graphics card. I don't think you'll be able to see this even if I turn it, but here's our thermal probe. We're just gonna kind of tuck it under the cooler, closer to the actual die. And that is it. Now we can put our case on. Now, I should have already secured the motherboard tray, but I didn't. So, we're going to have to do that now, which means, you guessed it, more screws. The motherboard tray is held in with two coarse thread screws. Here's one. That is a really short screw, so perfect. I don't think I've ever seen a coarse thread screw that short. Must have been for a motherboard. Boy, I need to get rid of some of this extra stuff. I don't care if these all match. As long as they are in. That is all that matters. Now I need some for the case. Suppose I could use some of these thumb screws. None of them are going to match, of course. One. Whoa, I don't know what that's from. Probably not a computer. Do I have any thumb screws in here? I do. They don't match, but again, it does not matter. Two. Wow, that's bent. How did that happen? Three. Get out of there. Good enough. Okay, let's get our VGA hooked up. And our power. Ooh, blue LED. Nice. This is a little loud. Could be worse though. Like the fact that we're not getting a display out. It's coming off the motherboard, perhaps? It is coming off the motherboard. Okay, wasn't expecting that. Let's do a quick round of troubleshooting to see if maybe we can figure out what's going on. I'm going to plug this back into our GeForce 2. Don't tell me we have to troubleshoot this immediately after I put it in the case. Oh, no. Back to on board, maybe? While we're entering the setup, we're going to give it a second. In the meantime, I guess I can start getting some of this stuff out of the way. Ooh. CMOS checksum bad, default configuration used. That's okay, we never updated it anyway. So, let's go ahead into the BIOS. F1 to enter setup. Okay, advanced. Installed the, yeah. Okay. Video boot type. PCI. Why are we suddenly not getting video out of our graphics card? Save changes. Hey, this is a GeForce 2 MX 400. Okay. I didn't change anything. You know something? I think that this hard drive might have something on it. Let's see what it boots into. If it boots. That's a big if. Is there anything in the DVD drive? No, there's not. This would be a great PC for Windows 98. But I do not see this actually booting into anything, so we're going to go ahead and power it down. It hasn't said no boot device yet, but it's probably hung on some unsupported operating system. This is a Pentium 3 after all, and that 80 gig drive probably came from something that had a Pentium 4 or newer in it. So it's probably looking for instruction sets that don't exist. So we're going to go ahead and power it down. What? Wait a minute. Initializing... Wait. Oh! It's trying to boot from the 3COM card. The 3COM card supports PXE boot. That's pretty cool. That's basically booting over a network. Interesting. Let's just let this continue. Let's see what happens. Network boot aborted. Press a key to continue. Operating system not found. Okay. So, I think that we should put Windows 98 or 2000 on here. I'm leaning more towards 98, mostly because I don't have a Windows 2000 installer. Yeah. However, it's damn near 11 p.m. My wife's due home any minute now. So I think we're going to put this off for another day. When you come back, maybe I'll even clean. Anyway, I'll be right back. For you, at least. Okay. Well, for you it's been a couple minutes. Well, seconds, really. For me, it has been 2 weeks since I've last touched this PC. I've had some issues. Number one, I can't find my Windows 98 CD. And try as I might, I can't get this thing to boot over USB. Came close a few times, but I did not have any success. Additionally, I found out that, you think this is going to blue screen if I unplug this? Is there a CD in here? No. Please don't go screen. Okay. I've had some issues with that recently. Okay. So, a couple things. The cable I used for this DVD drive was bad. And instead of messing around with it, I tried a whole bunch of different DVD drives until I figured out that the cable was bad, switched to a new cable, and it's fine. So, where's the lid? I want to quiet that down. That is much better. Okay. We're going to move this because I have a few things to talk about before we truly begin. Oh, that's right, I loosened up the motherboard tray too. Whew. This particular motherboard isn't great. I'm sure some of you had assumed that once you saw HP. In order to get the graphics card to work, I had to set it as the PCI bus master, which is not something I've had to do before on other systems. Additionally, I have learned that beginning with Windows 2000, all Windows installers will not use ACPI if the BIOS date is before January 1st, 2001. The date for this BIOS is July of 2000, so I can't use ACPI. I don't think that's going to cause any issues, in theory, but it could. I haven't installed any drivers yet. I'm just copying over all the games. Also, my flash drive broke, so I had to go out and buy a new flash drive. Turns out that the ONN Walmart brand flash drives, the USB 3 ones, they're not USB 3, they're just USB 2, and I guess they overdrive it somehow to almost achieve USB 3 speeds, which kills them early. So, that's great. In the 2 weeks that I have been gone, packages have arrived. They are not P.O. Box donations, but they're still worth going over. Now this one I am excited for. This is a box of graphics cards. I bought this for $35. There are supposedly 18 graphics cards in this box. And while we wait for these games to transfer, which by the way has been going on for 3 hours and we're just now about halfway done. So while we wait for that, let's look at these cards. In fact, let's get you a little closer, give you a better view of this. Yeah, that should be good. We have... I'm sure that's not actually GeForce GT430. For the record, none of these were like listed. How do I open this? The listing just said graphics card lot. It didn't list what the graphics cards actually were. There we go. Okay. So we have... Well, that probably is a GT430. What is this? Oh, these are the half-height brackets. It's actually kind of useful. It has HDMI. Since this appears to be brand new, there is an extremely good chance that this just works. So, between us, it's actually kind of awesome. That alone is worth the money. So, what else do we have? I suppose I could put this back there as well. Now, some of these aren't graphics cards. Looks like we've got into the modems here. This is a Canadian modem from Industry Canada. Cognizant, I don't know anything about this. It's probably garbage. It's an MW560CI. I don't care about the modems. This is a Looks like a 10100 Ethernet card with a bent bracket. Yeah, I don't really care about this either. I'm in it for the graphics cards. This is another modem. And Agir Systems. That's an HP part number. Looks like HP part number 5187-5216. I don't care about these. What I really want... Oh, here's another modem. Looks like another one of those Conling's Canada ones. There's a couple of PCI graphics cards in here that I'm after, because I don't have a lot of PCI cards. A lot of PCI graphics cards, at least. This is a PCI sound card. Hello, hon. I don't see a brand on it, but it's the chip here says... I actually can't tell. HSP56. K. Anytime that I've seen a card like this, it has not worked, so we're going to assume this is bad and just throw it out. I hate those. Netgear 54 megabits per second Wi-Fi card. This could be useful in a late 98 or early XP machine. Get rid of some of this packing material. I would like to see some of these PCI graphics cards. That's what I really want. Well, at least they packed it reasonably well. Okay. I hate this packing material, though. Okay, what do we got? Let me... Jeez, okay. Oh, okay. We have an 8800 GS with at least one capacitor broken off. Interesting. If we can fix this, that'd be nice. These are kind of good cards. Looks like there's two options to power the fan from. That's interesting. It's an XFX card. These are quite nice, but we will need to get that fixed. I actually can do that. Now we have an AGP card that is covered in bad capacitors. Okay, this must be an NVIDIA card. Yep, GeForce 2 MX400. That's actually about the same as what's in there right now. I think that's an MX200. So, good card, worth saving. Looks like this has the option for a fan, but there's no fan on the card. So we're going to have to replace every single one of these capacitors. That is... Ah, man, I'm starting to wonder if it's worth it, because these capacitors at 50 cents a piece... It's not like this is a very performant card. Worth looking into. Next, one of our first PCI cards looks like an ATI All-in-Wonder. It is a... Huh. Okay, so we know it's an ATI All-in-Wonder. It has a TV tuner on it. Looks like it has a Rage 128 Pro for the graphics chip. That's actually pretty good. I'll take that. So we are assuming that these work already ahead. Now, what is this? It's got HDMI. What is this, like a GT210? Or, it's a 2 gig card. Huh. Does not say what it is. I'm going to have to look this up later, but this might be like a GT610. Oh, it's a GT730! Hey! If that works, that's good. And it already has the low profile brackets on it, so we could throw this in one of our donation PCs. This is a second GT730? 710. Doesn't matter, it has HDMI, has low profile brackets. This would also make, assuming it works, a very good addition to one of our donation PCs. Okay, another PCI graphics card. This one has a lot of damage to the capacitors, but they themselves don't look bad. They're just a little scuffed up. Do not, off the top of my head, know what this is. It's a VisionTech card. Radeon 9200, 64 megabyte. It's a good little card. Assuming it works, of course. Now we have a sound card. It looks like a Sound Blaster, but it's not. It's Diamond Multimedia. Hey, this has the exact same chip as that weird sound card. A CMI 8738. Okay, they're not the same chip. They're very, very similar. They're made by the same company, the ESDX or whatever the heck that is. It's stylized, I can't really tell. Again, these cards always suck. Maybe this one will too? Okay. Moving on. This... I thought there were more than 2 PCI graphics cards. I hope there's more than 2. Not a huge fan of this really thin foam that they used, but again, at least they did properly package it. I see another Ethernet card. Not exactly excited about that. Okay, looks like another 10100 card. A Parallel Tasking 2. I have an entire box of these. They are okay. Oh, here we go. We've got... I don't see any bad capacitors on this. It is a GeForce 4 MX440. This was my first graphics card in my first gaming PC. My dad built it for me. Those are good little cards. This is a Linksys 10100 card, missing some sort of ROM chip here. I think that was more of an addition, like a PXE boot thing. Uh-oh. Okay, this card has some damage to it. Plus the bracket isn't attached. Missing some screws. What is it, though? Oh, it's got a weird little heatsink on the back, too. This is an HD 4350 1 gig card. That's okay. Not exactly excited to see it, but you know, the card is a card. We will test to see if it works. Radeon. This is a... I don't know what this is. I'm going to guess, based on the DisplayPort and DVI, that this is probably like an HD 6350. Boy, I wish it would just say on the card. We will have to investigate that later. It could be a halfway decent donation card. Another PCI graphics card. Okay, this is the one I was mostly interested in. It looks like this is only held in by the standoffs by the VGA port. I hate when cards do that. I'm going to guess that this... well, the fan actually feels good. I don't know. Probably a GeForce 4 or an early FX card. I know it's NVIDIA. Well, I don't know it's NVIDIA, but I... oh, hold on. GeForce FX 5200. 256 megs. This is a good little card, especially for PCI. This is going to be useful. And if this works, it may end up going in this PC that we're building right now. And finally, we have... what is this, a Riva TNT? I don't know what this is. These old cards are sometimes very, very difficult to identify. This is a VisionTech card. NV996.0. That means nothing. A lot of those cards would share that. I'm going to guess that this is a... well, no, manufacturing date of the 37th week of 2000. I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is AMD or NVIDIA. But we will certainly investigate at some point. Yeah. It's a G7700.2. Okay. Well, assuming at least a couple of these work, we will be ahead based on how much I paid. This one would be very nice to get working. Yeah, it sucks about this capacitor, but they were nice enough to put some sticky pad down to hold it in place. So whoever sent this did want it to be fixed. Okay. With that said, that wasn't the only package that I received. I bought more than I probably shouldn't have paid for. I got this, which I believe is a Pentium 4. Yes. Now we had that one system that I replaced a couple capacitors on, the VIA system, that I thought was going to be an excellent little Pentium 4 machine, and we really had a ton of trouble with it. This should be a 3 gigahertz Prescott Pentium 4. And it is. Okay. This will let us know whether or not that system actually works, or if it doesn't. Because again, we were having so many issues with that system, but I didn't realize how bad VIA chipsets were. And of course, still not the only packages we've got. Let me bring this out for a moment. This is my multimeter. It is pretty basic. I got it at the dollar store, or sorry, I got this from Walmart, I think. Yeah, Hypertough, that's the Walmart store brand. It has served me, I don't want to say well, but it has served me. It's good for checking batteries. That's about it. Now this, on the other hand, now this has my personal address on it, so I need to keep that away from the camera. This is the first channel sponsorship of a sort. I was very, very careful to let them know that I wasn't going to be selling out or doing reviews, because that doesn't feel like something I should do. But we have a multimeter, a proper multimeter. We're not going to be using it in this video, but this has one function that is extremely important to me and to this channel. This can test capacitors. That is huge. Assuming it works, of course. I have no doubt about it working. I mean, one would hope that a company offering to seed products to YouTubers wouldn't be sending them broken products. I mean, if it is broken, you will know. I will be saying all of the good and bad that I find out about both of these. And this is a really interesting one. This is a current clamp. I have always wondered... this didn't have a nice little carrying case. I've always wondered about how much power these old systems use while they're gaming, at least compared to modern systems. And this will finally let me know. We're going to do a lot of testing with this. Supposedly, this also has multimeter functionality and can also test capacitors, but we're going to leave the capacitor testing to the dedicated multimeter, and this we're going to use for actual, well, current clamp stuff. Again, not for this video. Not within the scope of putting together an extremely slow Windows XP machine. But soon. Very, very, very soon. If I can even get that back in the box. I'm excited for what these tools are going to allow us to do. Moving up in the world. And with that said, that's still not the only boxes that have arrived. However, the last box actually was a P.O. Box donation, and I'm going to keep it secret for at least another week or two. It was sent by a friend as a birthday gift, on the condition that I have to use it. So, understandably, I'm going to use it. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but stay tuned. We do have a special video coming up. And at this point, there's nothing I can really do other than wait until this transfer is finished. Based on it's estimating 170 minutes remaining. So, gotta love that USB 1.1. At this point, I really need to just take a hard drive, throw everything on it, and use that hard drive in all these systems. Oh boy. Anyway, I will see you when we're ready to do testing. Well, this has been taking absolutely forever. It's been another hour and it still says, 2 hours left. I really need to get that hard drive set up. But, a couple more packages have arrived. First, another Pentium 3 3 GHz. Pentium 3. Another Pentium 4 3 GHz Prescott. I just want to have the greatest chance of finding a CPU that works. Speaking of, the CPU I tried to use, I'm actually going to send to a viewer along with some hard drives. You need to get them wiped first because always wipe hard drives before you deal with them. Another package that arrived is this. Now I did some very, very quick testing off camera. This was sold as is for parts, and in the description they said that they saw life. There was a green LED that would turn on, but they could never get video out. Now I know these boards. These are extremely picky for what RAM you use. I used the correct RAM. This board works just fine. Now this is a little Intel Atom CPU, nothing special, but it's new enough to have USB 3, while old enough to have all the correct Windows XP drivers. And this CPU only uses like 6 watts. So this could be a really, really nice low power Windows XP build. You could install Windows 98, but you're not going to have all the correct chipset drivers. Another package had this. Now this is a AliExpress mini ITX case, but I think it looks kind of cool. We can connect our USB 3 at the front, and I really hope that we've got USB 3 Windows XP drivers. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. And I also got this super generic PCI Express riser because you have to mount the graphics card sideways. Also, this case requires a what's this called? Oh shoot! Flex ATX. This requires a Flex ATX power supply. I have a couple of those. One of them is a 500 watt Flex ATX power supply. So I don't remember if I used that one. I don't remember if I used the 500 watt Flex ATX power supply in that NAS I built for my parents, or if I used my 350 watt Flex ATX power supply. Either way, I shouldn't need that much power, and I also shouldn't need a PCI Express 6-pin unless we decide to go with something like this, which that would be pretty cool, putting an 8800 GS in an ITX chassis. That would be wild. Maybe we can get this to work. I still need to see about replacing this capacitor. It's a surface mount, it's not a through hole, but it actually looks like, there's the pad for it, it looks like it might, no, I'm wrong, that might not be through hole, yeah, it is through hole capable. Let me get this taken off first. Okay. It'd be nice if I could get that off. There we go. Looks like it went right here. They've left me plenty of pad to solder to. And I might actually have a compatible capacitor on hand. That would be awesome. I would love to not have to buy anything. So, we might look into that, but that's going to be a different video. We're just going to stick that there. And in the meantime, guess I'll clean, get all this taken apart, or not taken apart, put away. Oh, this takes so long. It took 6.5 hours to transfer those games to the desktop. We're finally doing the driver installation, but this is just not working out. I can't have my workspace occupied for 6.5 hours when I've got multiple videos that I need to record this weekend. So I need to get my act together and either figure something out that'll increase the speed of my workflow, or maybe do something different entirely. I don't know. But we're almost done here. Snappy's the last step, then it's reboot and game time. Again, we really want Windows 98 on this machine. XP is not what this is going to be good for. So I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do there, because I can't find my disks. So I think I'm going to have to... I'll probably find an ISO file on the internet, burn that, and it should be good to go. But, wow, this is taking a long time. That's just for the mouse. USB 1.1. Thank you. I guess as we approach this final stretch, I'm going to go ahead and enjoy my dinner. Wow, this took so long. We had a blue screen a couple minutes ago. Trying to get that graphics card driver installed. If this doesn't work, we can always go with the ones available from Phil's Computer Lab. Right now I'm trying to figure out how to use this. It's not super fancy, but it is really cool. And I would like to know how much power this computer is using. Now I do have, and I believe I set it conveniently right behind me where I couldn't see it, one of these, and this will measure the power draw from the wall. Well, naturally, it has been quite a bit more time, and I'm running out of that, so we're going to have to call it here and just play the games that have successfully installed. From easiest to hardest, I think. First, let's try out Worms United. I picked that up recently, have not tried it yet. It should run just fine. Oh, it runs in DOSBox. Interesting. Not sure why they don't just give you the DOS files, but, you know, okay. Well, I suppose we know DOSBox runs here. I'm going to skip all this. That's a lot of stuff to skip. I have never played this game before. That is not super great. Select teams, sure. I should have grabbed some speakers. Let's go ahead and skip this. Okay, left equals play, right, is new. Okay. I guess I don't use a mouse for this. Okay, sure, play. Do I use a mouse? Oh, I do use the mouse, okay. However, I can tell that we're missing some of the screen. Bazooka. Press space. Oh. Okay. Well, the game clearly runs. Okay. Well, that works. Interesting. Again, it is not happy about this aspect ratio, but we're going to go ahead and just move on here. In the menus, it's kind of laggy for the input. Well, this is DOSBox on an 800 megahertz CPU. So let's play something a little newer and more era appropriate. Direct 3D support. Yep, next. Looks good to me. Now this is, of course, a simple GeForce 2, so should handle this just fine, but this will probably be the end of the easy games. I really need to pick up a capture card or something. Normally I would just record using the system, using Fraps or something like that. Oh. Oh dear. I mean, this should run. Wow, what is going on? Options, preferences. I can barely move the mouse. Why is this so slow? GeForce 2 should be capable of this. That didn't help at all. Okay. Oh dear. This might not be something we can run. There also could be something wrong with our GeForce card. Okay, well, let's try... We're going to attempt Unreal Tournament 2004. Again, with the GeForce 2, it should run. Not well, but it should run. I used to play this game on a GeForce 4 MX440, and this is a GeForce 2 MX400. It's not that much worse. And I was able to run this at not minimum settings on my GeForce 4. This really should have handled Unreal Tournament 1999 just fine. I'm starting to think we have some other issue. Either the card doesn't work correctly, or the drivers aren't correct. We did use Snappy. That could be our issue with the drivers. Oh dear. I really don't want... Oh! That actually looks fine. Let's go to the settings, make sure we're on the minimum settings, just to see how it works. Okay. We're 800 by 600. Let's go down to 640 by 480. Keep settings. We're going to do 16-bit colors. I know that the GeForce 2 cards are capable of 32-bit, but 16-bit is easier to run. Very low texture detail. We're just going to go very low for everything. Dynamic mesh, low, no shadows. Nope, let's get rid of projectors, get rid of weather. Sure. We're going to try these settings. This is already running a heck of a lot better than Unreal Tournament 99, which does lend some credence to my driver suspicion. Let's go to Standard Deathmatch. Sure, whatever this one is. Phobos 2, I think this is a space one. I really should just go get the correct drivers, but I am so out of time. I just can't do it. Not for this video. Besides, we will be getting rid of XP once I have a proper Windows 98 disk. and installing 98 on this machine. So I definitely a driver issue. Yeah, this is fine. We might actually be getting over 60. In fact, I think we are. Grab this. Haven't seen anybody yet. Well, not over 60 anymore. Want that? I think this, yeah, double damage. Can't see anything. Where are you? Oh. Give me that flat cannon. Oh, not like that. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. Well, this was more like what I was expecting with Unreal Tournament 1999. So, with that said, I guess we could move on to Railroad Tycoon 3 and call 99 just some sort of driver issue. Yeah, I'd say that. Okay. Yes. Railroad Tycoon 3 should be the hardest of all these games to run. But at least it has a built-in FPS counter. Wow, this is so slow. Yeah, XP really... You can run it on some real slow CPUs. You can get it to run on an original Pentium if you're brave, but even still, it was designed with the Pentium 4 in mind. So let's go ahead and fire up Railroad Tycoon 3. Really starting to wish I had set up some speakers. I need to find where I put those. Not surprised about the cutscene there. Let's go to settings. We're going to cut this down to 640 by 480. This monitor does not natively support 640 by 480, but hardware transform lighting should be fine. We'll go to very low. Wait a minute, settings, where's show frame rate? Okay. Oh, it's not showing a frame rate. Single player, new campaign, easy just for the moment. We just want to get it started. I don't have much hope for this one. And one final bit of evidence towards my assumption of a bad driver is this FPS counter is saying 0. Even in the menus, it should show the frame rate. The easy way to fix that is to throw Snappy back on and install an older driver. That should fix all of our issues. That's what I did last time when we had this issue. Oh, there we go. We have a frame rate. We're getting 20. That's acceptable. Sure. Oh, that's right. Arrow keys. Yeah. Come on, just let me put the track down. Want to do our little usual run to Providence here. Get ourselves a train. Lock the camera to the train. Mid-30s. This would obviously decrease when you have more trains and more things going on and more complicated models, but I'd say that's acceptable. especially given how much harder this is to run than Unreal Tournament. Surprisingly. But hey, you know, I'll take it. Sorry to hasten the end of this video so much, but I can't stick around. It is time to go. I have multiple other projects that I need to work on today. So, suppose that's it. Thank you very, very, very much for... What the heck is stuck in this case? Oh, there's some glue or something there. Anyway, thank you very, very much for watching. I hope this was entertaining, at least as much as it was frustrating. There was a lot of stuff off camera that I did and took care of. I need to use this. Where? There we go. I'm going to use this for the trains. Cancel. I need to use this for my thumbnails, so I wanted to get this to a point where it could keep going. So, with that said, I really wish I could have found my Windows 98 disk, but that's a problem for another day. Hope you liked it. I'm bad at making outros. Goodbye!